You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Harry's wife, Beano, another snub. In the weird and wonderful world of Harry's wife, many things are not a particular surprise. The fact that she goes dressed as a fridge on stage and then lectures people about vaccination. The fact that she declares that sitting still in traffic is a near-catastrophic car chase. The fact that she claims there was systemic racism but then says that there were not. And so many other examples of her behaviour which at first blush appears bizarre and puzzling. However, once you apply the lessons learned in my work, it all becomes clear as to what is actually going on. Notwithstanding this, there are still many other people that scratch their heads at her behaviour. If only they were directed to my work, it would provide them with the enlightenment that they require, not just in relation to the way that Harry's wife behaves, but perhaps would also allow them to understand more about the people around them also. This has been one of the main reasons that I've created so much work about Harry's wife, because it allows me to reach people that ordinarily I might not have done, who have then thought, hang on a second, what HG is talking about is applicable to something going on in my own life. Thus, my legacy is extended along with my reach. Nevertheless, I must admit, I didn't think that I would be referencing the Beano in relation to Harry and Harry's wife, but it would appear that I am going to. This time, an article by Sumanti Sen, written in the Hindustan Times, leads with Harry's wife and Prince Harry snubbed from iconic comic The Beano as Prince William and Princess Kate, the nemesis, featured. In case you're not familiar with what the Beano is, a little bit of information. The Beano, formerly the Beano Comic, also known as Beano, is a British anthology comic magazine created by Scottish publishing company DC Thomson. The first issue was published way back on the 30th of July 1938, and it published its 4,000th issue in August 2019. Popular and well-known comic strips and characters include Dennis the Menace, Minnie the Minx, the Bash Street Kids, Roger the Dodger, Billy Whiz, Lord Snooty and his pals, Ivy the Terrible, General Jumbo, Jonah and Biffo the Bear. The Beano was planned as a pioneering children's magazine that contained mostly comic strips, in the style of American newspaper Gag-A-Days, as opposed to the more text-based story papers that were immensely popular before the Second World War. In the present, its legacy is its misbehaving characters, escapist tales, and anarchic humour with an audience of all ages. Beano is a multimedia franchise with spin-off books and Christmas annuals, a website, theme park rides, games, cartoon adaptations, and a production company. So a little bit of information, and many people in the United Kingdom know of it, or indeed will have read it when they were in their childhood. It has an iconic status, a firm affection within the hearts of millions of Britons, and therefore it is something that brings a warm glow to individuals. Princess Kate and Prince William will appear alongside King Charles, Queen Camilla, and several other celebrities like Dua Lipa, Lewis Capaldi, and Kate Bush. Prince William and Princess Kate are featured in an iconic edition of a famous British magazine, but Harry's wife and Prince Harry have reportedly been snubbed. Kate and William will appear alongside those celebrities as mentioned. The Beano has marked its 85th anniversary and is known for being the world's longest-running comic. As Beano proudly celebrates its 85th anniversary, it continues to champion the power and joy of childhood by doing what it's always done, showing kids being kids. Mike Sterling, head of Mischief at the publication, said, according to GB News, "Here's to the next 85 years. And we dedicate this birthday issue to every child out there, because being a kid never gets old. I get to speak to a wider group of kids every week when we're working on the Beano, and that makes you feel young, and it keeps you young," he added. Also included in the popular comic are Manchester United, footballer Marcus Rashford, and YouTuber KSI. So another snub. Now, notice that it's interesting in this reportage that they talk about who's in it and then draw attention to the fact that the gruesome twosome aren't. Do they mention that Princess Anne isn't in it? No. Do they mention that Prince Andrew isn't in it? No. Do they mention that Princess Michael of Kent isn't in it? No. But they always make mention of the fact that the gruesome twosome are not involved. Why? Well, firstly, because they know that people would be interested in the fact that they're not included because the two have achieved pariah status. Secondly, it's likely the case that the journalists themselves regard it as quite entertaining to report on the fact that here's another thing that they're not included in. Whilst it is a heartwarming for many publication that the King and the Queen, and along with the Prince and Princess of Wales, would be rightfully content to be involved in, status affirming, that it would get recognition and play well with the public, it's exactly the type of thing that Harry's wife would want to be involved in. After all, she plays on the fact of being a mother, she plays on her facade of emotional empathy, although she has none. But she's not included. The Beano doesn't want to know. And whilst there are other people who have not been included, it adds up to another snub. If the Prince and Princess of Wales are included, why not they? They've got children too. But of course, why would the Beano want to be associated with two individuals who go beyond mischief, who are thoroughly unpleasant? Why would the Beano want to be associated with such a divisive character as Harry's wife? The short answer is they would not want to. You don't want this person involved in what you're doing because she turns everything to shit. So not only is she snubbed once again, which causes wounding, but it involves the nemesis, which increases the wounding that she experiences. And it then further leads to wide-ranging press coverage about this omission. It's almost as if now that the press will obtain any opportunity to point out that something else has befallen Harry and Harry's wife. And the more that they do that, the more difficult it becomes for them to try and get back the position that they once had. Because quite simply, it creates a momentum of its own. And so many people simply look and go, well, no, we're not going to offer them a lifeline. Why would I risk my brand, my business, my livelihood for these two individuals? Indeed, there'll be plenty of people looking at them who also don't like them for the way that they've behaved. Many people will be talking about karma and you reap what you sow, etc., but it is as a consequence of her absence of talent and the way that her narcissism behaves. Many people will be delighted that she's now getting her just desserts, and it's going to continue. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.